It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee. My girl Tella is here.
That's right.
And we got Coach Carter, a.k.a. Sydney Carter,
Hello.
in the building with us.
Yes.
One of, I think, a person that people see you and they're like, oh, my God, I love her. I know her. I've been following her. So shout out to you. We're looking at the outfit, the watch, everything you got going on.
Thank you.
And women's basketball, college basketball is on fire.
It's up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our time. We're here.
And as a person who, you played in the WNBA and then you're coaching and you're the head of player development.
Yes.
Also, I just want to talk about like the journey from, I used to go to New York Liberty games back in the day.
Yes.
A long time ago when they were at Madison Square Garden.
Selling out?
No,
Were they selling
weren't.
out then?
No, they weren't selling out then.
It wasn't at the time, like when they first started. Because when they first started the WNBA, the games were selling out.
Oh, yeah. No, not back then they wasn't. But I was still going to the games. I enjoyed it. And for you, what's the difference that you're seeing now when it comes to women's basketball in particular?
Well, you're seeing a lot more people put in their platform to be a generational talent, like Caitlyn Clark's and Angel Reese's. Like those are all generational talents and generational people. But you're seeing like more teams in the spotlight now. Like it's not just like the UConns and the Stanfords from like when I played and when I was growing up. That's what I always used to see. So that's where everybody thought they had to go. Now it's Iowa, NC State, Texas, all these different schools that are at the forefront of everything. So everybody's popping now.
Hold on. I got to see these nails.
Yeah.
Ain't they
This
fly?
is regular for me.
They are cute.
Every nail is usually a different design.
Oh, this is amazing. And then even when we think about like the endorsements and everything that's starting to happen now that should have been happening for a long time, I feel like there's been a lot when it comes to that too. I mean, listen, there's a long way to go.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the disparities when it comes to, because I want people to see where we're at right now and then what we need to make things. Hold on, I got to get you to spit this gum out though.
Oh, thank you. Because I've been chewing on it.
Hold on.
Thank you.
I'm the gum police.
Okay.
All right, so when it comes to where we're at with women, right, in women's basketball, and we're talking about the WNBA and the NBA, they play at like less than half the amount of games that the men play in a season. Do you think there's a chance that they'll play 82 games?
I don't see that happening just because our season is short so that other people can go overseas as well. So I'm not sure like why I came in. Like when I was growing up, I saw the Comets playing and stuff like that. So the season was always shorter. So I'm not sure if that changes or not, but it at least gives people the opportunity to go overseas with a shorter season.
Okay, so in other words, for that to be able to happen, there has to be more money. Salaries have to be greater.
For sure.
In the WNBA,
Absolutely.
which they recently did, a CBA, they did raise the salaries, but it's still not amazing. Like I know Caitlyn Clark, they said she's capped at like 72,000 or something like that.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it's like for a 4-year term. When I was playing, it was a 4-year term, and you were stuck in that salary pool. So I'm not sure what it is now. I can't remember because I'm kind of removed from the WNBA. But they making more than what I was making.
When you were playing, financially, how was it for you? Like as far as what you had to do outside of the WNBA to make ends meet? Yeah,
so it was tough. I mean, I think I was making like maybe 35,000, maybe 40. So when you come out of college, like that's a lot of money for 4 or 5 months. But then I went overseas and I was making about 5 times more than that. So yeah, it was a big gap in between what I was making in the WNBA at the time and then what I was making overseas.
And now when we look at you though, right? Because you have a lot of followers on social media and people love you, but at the same time, people have been critical of the way that you dress. Now, you know me, I love to see it. But why do you think people have such an issue with you being dressed to the nines when you're on the court?
I mean,
coaching.
A lot of people are not secure with their own confidence. And so my confidence offended people, not sure why, but at the end of the day, I can't worry about that. Like I wake up and I'm happy with myself and to this day, I'm not apologizing for who I am because I was raised this way.
Did that surprise you? Like, were you like, I didn't anticipate all of like people having negative things to say?
Yeah, it surprised me because at the end of the day, I was just doing my job. And like, I can't help that I'm curvy. I can't help that, I like to dress a certain way and I've never been inappropriate. And so, of course, to me, that was surprising because it's like, what did I do wrong?
Right. So I was thinking too, because I had read how they used to be hating on you with them pink pants, and I was saying like I don't think it's the pink pants. I think it's how you looked in them, and they had problems with themselves, and then they probably not used to women looking like you that's coming around. Let's just be real. No, not discrediting no other woman, but you're a nice looking curvy black woman. So
Yeah, I think people too. It's like, how dare a woman stand so powerful in such a male dominated field?
Right.
But like, I was taking up good space, and I'm gonna continue to take up good space. So
that's right.
I do not know how you walk in them heels sometimes, though. I will say
I'm jumping in them.
Okay,
Like,
I don't know how you do that, because ever since COVID, I can't even wear heels anymore. I look like I've never worn heels before, so I can't even imagine.
it's easy for me. Like,
She said she jumping in them.
in
You
the game,
dunking in them too?
Hey, give me the ball. But when I'm like coaching in the game, I'm jumping. I'm like emphatic. I'm all over the place in my heels.
That's what's up.
And even when we're looking at college women's basketball, and we're looking at what the commentators are having to say about the women and what people like, you see a lot of misogyny.
Yep.
And maybe it's not intended, and they don't even realize it at the time until somebody has to point it out to them.
Yep.
But how does that affect the women? Because you work very closely with these athletes. Like, what are some things that you've heard in the locker room or as the news is coming out? Like, what are some things that you talk to these women about? Because I know you're very close to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just continuously tell them, like, it shouldn't, like, if you're living to please everybody else, like, you're always going to be miserable. You're never going to be happy in that. So at the end of the day, like, you just have to be confident in being who you are, because, like, you're never going to please everybody. Everybody's always going to have something to say. So if you're going to pay attention to that, you're going to be miserable.
Exactly.
So I try to encourage them to walk in their confidence every day and walk in who they are.
Did you always know that this is what you wanted to do, like play professional basketball, but then go on to coach?
Yeah, I knew I was a coach because when I was a player, I was talking all the time. Like, I've always been a leader, like by example and verbally. So at the end of the day, like, I knew I had leadership qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, go ahead, Caitlyn.
I saw that you grew up in a household of 6.
Yes.
So do you think that had anything to do with how you became a coach? Like, you used to run in the household, or what?
Yeah, I mean, my mom said I always had to be first at everything. And so I think it definitely stems from there. But, like, my mom also taught me, like, I was not made to fit in. She told me that at a very young age. And so here I am today.
That's what's up.
Now, we saw some other reports, like let's say Caitlyn Clark was asked to play in the Big Three. She was offered $5 million.
Yes.
I don't think she's doing that, right? She hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Now, if you were advising her, what would you say about that?
Well, I mean, it's like 10 games. So you making $5 million in 10 games, and the games aren't even that long. Mm-hmm. I might have to take that if it was me.
Okay.
Not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And then also people have commented, they believe she's going to be a first-round draft pick, which obviously she'll be first.
Yes.
Do you think that, because people are like, well, the WNBA is different, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be like way different than playing college basketball, because she's somebody that everybody's talking about, and we'll get to that in a second as well. But what do you think about her transitioning to the WNBA? What expectations do you have?
I mean, I think her confidence is going to carry her a long way. So with the WNBA, it's all about like opportunity and fit. If she's on a team that she's going to be able to get the opportunity to shoot the types of shots she shoots and everything like that, like, she's going to be successful. So it really just depends on where she goes, which everybody thinks she's going to go first. And Indiana's a good program. They have the first pick. So maybe she'll have a learning curve. Maybe she won't. But I think at the end of the day, she's going to be fine.
Where was your favorite place to play?
Ooh, I actually played in Indiana, and that was probably my favorite place to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just because, like, it was, like, easy living. Like, I'm from Texas, so I'm used to easy living, and Indiana was easy.
Do you love still, like, working in Texas because you're from there? Yeah? Okay.
Yes. I mean, when I came here yesterday, I was like, whoo, it's so fast.
That's a fact.
But, yeah, I mean, I get to still see my family. Like, I sacrifice being away from my family a lot just in this profession. So now my family can come to games still and everything like that, and they can come visit me.
Now, Jemele Hill had did an article where she was talking about Caitlyn Clark, because people were talking about how she's made people want to watch basketball, and that's why they were watching women's basketball. But she also was saying that part of it, and I don't think she was trying to be offensive to Caitlyn Clark at all. Everybody knows she's great. But they were also saying that making it maybe something that might have to do with the fact that she's white and playing college basketball, and people are saying that's why people are tuning in, when people were tuning in before that as well. And then also when you look at sometimes the way that articles are phrased, and even hearing Angel Reese speak about the racism and, the sexism and people saying awful things to her that she's had to deal with. Do you think that's a real thing?
I mean, absolutely. I think when you see it, you see a lot of the times when they want to cover black athletes, like they're always looking for the negative side of the story. And then I'm not saying that they don't, with anybody else, but that's what you see most of the time. You seeing like the black athletes in drama. And so, every time I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, what about when Angel had a line of people out at camp waiting to meet her? Like, those are the positive stories that you don't see too much effort put into. And so I feel like that's what they need to start covering more when it comes to women's basketball with everybody, not just certain athletes.
Right. Yeah, because they both, were going back and forth.
Yeah.
And so I think the way that it was covered, it made it seem more like she was the one that was, being a lot more, and listen, it is competitive.
Yeah.
She's
just passionate.
She's very passionate. And like they said, she shows up.
Yeah.
Like she's there, she's working hard, she's at all the practices and everything, and, not trying to take no shortcuts.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's a difficult thing, for people to do you think that Juju Watkins is going to be celebrated the same way?
Absolutely. Like she's another generational talent. Like you just are not going to see another Juju Watkins, and she's only a freshman. Like she's just scratching the surface with everything she's doing.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun to watch and to see what the ratings have been like.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was maybe 5 million more people watched the women's game.
Is that
this year
insane?
Than the men's. Yeah. I mean, it's different. Like, you're just not seeing that because, I'm getting in Ubers and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a coach. And they're like, oh, the women's game is in right now. I'm like, I'm glad you said that.
Right now. But you got to make sure that this is something that translates over when it comes to endorsements, when it comes to finances, even to how teams are being treated when they're traveling, and things like that. So what are some things that you feel like moving forward, now that you can see these are real money makers, it brings in the ratings, what do we do now to make sure that we're capitalizing off this and it's not just a moment?
Well, I hope that, one, the people that followed the game now because Caitlyn Clark and Angel and all those other people were playing, those are their favorite athletes. So then follow them to their professional careers after that. So now that the WNBA can get the type of recognition that college is getting at this point, and then continue to support the schools that they went to, because now you're going to see okay, since Iowa had Caitlyn Clark, there are going to be more good players that want to go be just like Caitlyn in Iowa. So Iowa's not going to all of a sudden just drop off after she's gone. And so you have to continue to support. If you're a real fan of that team, then be a fan of that team. Don't switch up and be like, oh, okay, well, now Juju is in, so I'm going from Iowa to Juju. That's fine to support her, but also remain a fan of the team as well, because the team
don't be on the bandwagon. That's basically. Now, do you see yourself being a head coach?
Absolutely.
Is that the goal? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I tell myself what I want to be. I speak things into existence, and so I want to be one of the greatest of all time when it comes to women's basketball.
And I could see you getting, all right, now, fashion-wise, everybody's been talking about you. I've seen articles, you styling people, doing different things. Are you going to do something more with the fashion? Because I feel like it would only make sense for you to have your own athleisure line, or maybe your own,
That's in my head. I want to do that. We've been in talks with some people to do stuff like that. I've also had my own line with Amazon earlier this year, I think around maybe October or something like that. And so I've done some things, but I want to kind of get into it more and do some athleisure, like you said. Some workwear. I want to tap into everything. I want to do beauty. I want to do hair. I want to do nails. I want to do it all. I can have it all.
How do you balance your work with your personal life?
What you mean?
I'm just saying,
because I don't have. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying. We all got some type of personal life going.
I mean, I got a dog.
Okay. We were just talking about dogs. I gotta ask you this question.
Yeah, my dog dresses up with me. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
No, we had a topic, and me and Chella butted heads about this. Okay, so let's just say you and your ex had a pet together.
Okay,
and y'all break up. Okay, is it okay to have shared custody of that pet, or does?
No, who bought the dog? It's yours.
What if y'all bought it together?
I ain't never seen that. Y'all splitting the money to no.
Co-parenting.
Yeah, you can't
no.
co-parent a pet.
It's a dog. It's
Ooh,
not an animal.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, so you agree with Chella, basically.
9 out of 10 agree with me,
Yeah,
by the way.
Where did you do this
not a
survey?
human.
I did. Out of all the people that called and the people that's been hitting me, like, I'm right.
Yeah, no, it's not a human. It's a dog.
Oh.
So
You don't look at your little dog as like,
Okay, no, that's my baby. That's my child.
I am horrified.
But-
What if your dog hears this?
She might. She, she like to see herself on TV too. She know when she on TV.
She's like, what kind of dog is it?
She's a mini golden doodle.
Oh.
Yeah, she's so sweet. She bad though.
Oh, well, that's cute. But yeah, so you're back to the personal life because you said,
Yeah, so I mean, I really don't have one. If I think about it, like my personal life, I'm doing like my brand stuff, and traveling. I'll go see my family every now and then, but like really, I don't really have
It's
one.
not a priority.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not.
she's like, work is
Work is work.
Yeah. So when you
Because I
said-
have my own business as well. Like
Right.
I am my business. So my personal life revolves around pouring into my business so I can do what I want to do.
That's how my personal life is too, because I got some businesses as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when it came to playing overseas, how was that experience for you?
It was hard to start off. I went to Israel and like the Gaza stuff was happening my first year, so I was running from bomb shelter to bomb shelter.
Good Lord!
Yeah, like in
Wow.
the back of my house was a bomb shelter, and so I heard some sirens going off one day. Tanks were driving on the street, like it was scary for a 21-year-old. But it was hard. Like I learned a couple of languages. Don't ask me to say nothing because I'm a little rusty in my Hebrew. But it was hard, but it was rewarding. Like I
Right.
learned so much, and I traveled the world. I saw so many different places.
That's wild though, because like you said, making the money that you make for a few months, but then you have to kind of go.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta just grind it out, and it really is like Love and Basketball. If you've seen that movie, she was like, what did he say? That's really how it is. Like you gotta have the coach don't really speak English, and so you got a teammate over here translating, and all they say is he said get you the ball. That's really what they're saying. Like you get the ball, you gotta go score. So. Love and Basketball is like a perfect depiction of what it's like.
Wow.
Now,
My bad. How was it your short time in Chicago?
It was fun. It was different. The pizza was good. What's that place?
Oh, don't
We
do
got the
that.
best
Giordano's
pizza.
or something?
Giordano's.
Yeah,
Home
that
Run
was
Entertainment.
good.
We got the best pizza in the world.
That was good.
Yep.
So it was fun.
How was the weather?
It was rainy,
Oh, okay.
which I didn't like.
okay, Wendy,
I like sun.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, so I like the heat.
and
But
everything's
it was
bigger
fun.
in Texas
like
too.
the city was fun.
Yeah, it is, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, it was good.
Now let's talk about NIL deals because that's a newer thing
Yes.
too for athletes, and I think it's been really impactful for young athletes. But when some athletes are like getting a lot of money from these NIL deals, how does that affect the swag that they have when they're playing?
Well, you just hope that like it doesn't get to a point where it's just like, okay, I'm just here for my NIL deals. Like I think a lot of people got to realize like your brand comes from like whether you're doing well in sports or not. So like if you're just somebody that, is not pouring into their craft, then you can't necessarily say, okay, well, I need this NIL deal. I need that. I want that. Like you still have to build a brand on top of that. And so we in a new age with this NIL
It is
stuff.
so different. Can you imagine if you would have had that when you was
I would have
coming up?
cashed out.
You listen.
I was must see TV. I had a teammate that was also named Sydney Colson, who's still in the WNBA doing her thing now with comedy and all that. But we were must see TV back in the day.
Right.
We were interviewing each other, everything. So I was like, I came up at the wrong time.
What advice do you have for some of these young women who are wanting to become brands and making sure that, outside of being on the court, they're still doing things that they can to monetize and also prepare for what's going to happen in the future to make sure they're set?
I think the main thing is not aligning yourself with stuff that you don't agree with. Like, I feel like a lot of these kids just are like, okay, I'm going to just do this brand deal for social media content, but I don't really like how it tastes, or I don't like how it looks on me. So like if you're not really aligning yourself with some stuff that you really believe in, like you really can't make a deal out of it. You really can't make it part of your brand because you don't really believe in it. So attach yourself to stuff that you really believe in, like the actual product you believe in.
Right. What are some of the deals that you've done? I know you did Marriott, right?
I did. I just finished that up. I've done some stuff with Uber.
Marriott, by the way, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect time for NCAA, so I was in the commercial for the NCAA.
Getting the suites and everything.
Yeah, it was great. I had a time.
All right, so Uber.
Who else have I done? I did Amazon. I've done so many things.
I know, and I'm sure there's a lot of people also trying to get at you right now to get some more deals done and some more.
Yeah, I mean, I've done. There's a lot of like clothing. There's a lot of like makeup that's coming as well. I'm waiting on the nail people to come.
I know. Those nails are amazing. They look like Louboutins.
Thank you. Ooh, I didn't even think of it like that. But yeah, so I'm waiting on a nail company to come. But like I said, I'm all over the place. I want to touch everything. I don't want to just be like, I want to touch into the dog fashion because my dog likes wearing clothes. Like, I just feel like
that's a big market though. Like, I know it may sound funny, but that is like,
it is. People really care about dog clothes.
Shout out to my guy Donnell. He be having his dog in these little dresses and things like that, and little shoes and everything.
I haven't gotten to the shoes yet.
Yeah, when they go outside and it's raining or something like that, and especially in New York when you're walking dogs outside, it's disgusting, it's dirty. You don't want to bring the dog back inside.
Yes.
You know, to jump on the couch after it's been walking all over the nasty New York sidewalks.
Right. Yeah, it was different. I saw a dog using the bathroom on the sidewalk. I was like, oh, this is different for me. Mine go in the grass.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot of grass out here for the dogs to go on. Now, do you know what's the plans for you next year? Are you back at University of Texas?
I am. I'm back, and I'm still putting it on.
That's what's up.
Putting it on. Well, we love to see it, and thank you so much, Coach Sydney Carter, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm so excited. Like, I love the way that everything's been, just transpiring. I love watching women athletes. I love watching women's basketball because I think when it comes to tennis, that has been huge for women and all the sports that we go in, and then we're able to like dominate. It's been amazing to see. People have doubted women. Oh, men don't want to watch women's sports because the women don't look feminine. Remember some critics that have said that in the past.
Yeah. Well, they don't have that argument no more. Like,
or women can't dunk. That was another argument.
Not an argument anymore.
Right. Like, so I think that it's been proven wrong.
Yeah.
So I love to see that.
Down.
All right. Well, Coach Sydney Carter, thank you so much. And how can people follow you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Coach Sid Carter. You can find me on Twitter, Sydney_Renee, and then on TikToks at Coach Sid Carter.
All right. She's lit, y'all. It's Way Up.
Way Up.